sitting in here. My name is Steve Blum. There we go, that's better. Now we won't have any horrible accents. My name is Steve Blum. I'm a voice actor. I'm based in Los Angeles. And I've been doing this for 20 years, I guess now, something like that, pretty close to it. And I started out in anime, and I will hopefully die doing anime, so hopefully not soon, but anime is my first love, and I love you guys, and I'm so grateful that you would have me to your beautiful city here, to your convention, to share this with you. So I thought that we would just open this up to you guys. I brought a little something here, but we're having some technical difficulties, so we'll do that at some point, as soon as they give me the high sign. But in the meantime, I thought I'd open it up to you guys and see what's on your mind, and we'll just sit and have a nice little informal chat, eh? All right, so let's have a hand up. How about right here? Hi. How's it going? Excellent. Only Tsunami, baby. I'd like to ask you, I mean, I don't know what your schedule is like, but on Sunday, we're having a huge Tsunami panel. I heard about this. And would you like to come talk about Tom? If I'm conscious enough at that time, I will absolutely do that. Just depends on how much Scott shows up in my room tonight. So. No, I'm not. Yes, I will answer that first because this is going to tear the crap out of my throat after I do that. Kevin Conroy is awesome, actually. He's an amazing guy. And I got to do a con with him in Australia and New Zealand this year, or last year. It was just a few months ago. And we actually got to spend some quality time together. He is amazing. He's an amazing guy. Very humble, really cool. He's still overwhelmed by how many people love him. He just doesn't realize how many of us he's touched. He's incredible. I think he's one of the best Batman ever. So that was awesome to work on that. And to answer the other question, I've got your scent, Batman! Thanks, bub.
My question is, if you, as Wolverine, were going to have a superhero team up, something like the Avengers, where you could take which superheroes would you pick?
Sailor Moon. Pikachu. And Godzilla. That would be our power team. Yes. How about right here?
Who would win a sword fight, Mugen or Wolverine?
Wow. Probably Wolverine because he can heal. I would think. Yeah. How about you? Not back there?
First off, what happened with Wolverine and the X-Men? That ending was the most anticlimactic, and it just kind of died off. And second of all, with what's it? Anime, I love it, but my first love always been Transformers. What's it like being able to be a part of something as huge as Prime is now?
Awesome. I love being a Decepticon. Yeah, Transformers is just amazing, man. I still pinch myself just being in the same room with those guys. We have such an amazing cast to work with. Everybody on the cast is incredible, but I'm a big fanboy of Frank Welker, and always have been. He's just one of the most amazing talents I've ever seen on this planet. The stuff that comes out of his head is not human. And next to Peter Cullen with that voice from God that just rocks the room. You know, everything he says, everybody in the room starts vibrating, you know. But the whole cast is incredible. It's just being a part of the whole Transformers universe on this level is insane to me, and none of us are taking it for granted. It's just incredible. And to answer the other question, Wolverine the X-Men was a victim of a corporation going under, basically. There was an offshore corporation based in the UK that was one of the main financiers for the project, and they declared bankruptcy and took it with them. They still hold the license for it. So there were, I think, 9 episodes written for another season, and the new arc was going to be amazing. And all of us were on board for it. We were ready to go, and then we heard that they lost all the financing, and it became a legal issue now. So now, you know, if Marvel can get the rights back, if they can get the right funding, it might happen again. We just don't know. Right into Marvel, just demand it, honestly, because if they get enough pressure, they're going to really push it. They've already got it. I mean, they really want to do it. Marvel really wants to do it, and so do we all. But I just don't know if it's going to happen. And since they've been bought by Disney, I don't know what their take is going to be on it. So it's just a lot of corporate paperwork that has to happen. A lot of things have to happen right for that to go on. But it made me sad, dude. It was such a great show. Okay, how about you right here?
Okay, one, are you really doing the voice of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, and Young Justice? And two, do you know the Green Lantern voice, and do you think you can do it in your Hal Jordan voice?
I am not doing the voice of Hal Jordan, no.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say who that is yet. I know him. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I'm working with him on another very, very big show. I'm very excited for that show. And no, I do not know the oath by heart. And I wouldn't do that because I think that's what he should be doing at cons on it, honestly. But thank you for that question. How about somebody over here with the glove?
You play Jack in Battle. If you could hit Jack in a fight against any other character that you've done the voice for, who do you think would put up the most epic battle?
Wow. Somebody with a lot of weapons. I don't know, man. That'd be tough. I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm going to have to think about that and get back to you. It would have to be somebody with a lot of weapons, I would imagine. Maybe somebody with a chainsaw for an arm, too. How about you right here?
This is actually my cousin's question. She wanted to know if you picked Orochimaru, and if you did, why?
I don't pick any of my roles. I have to audition for them like everybody else. I'm a working voice actor, and if they offer me an audition, I'll do the audition, and if they offer me the role, I'll take the role very gladly, unless it's something that's just really objectionable. And there's only been one case of that. But I love Orochimaru. He's creepy, he's disgusting, and delicious all at the same time. So thanks for that question. How about somebody from this side? You in the green shirt back there? I don't choose favorites because it would be like cutting off 9 of my fingers and picking the favorite one, because I kind of need them all. They're all part of me. I love what I do, and even the small roles, even the bit roles that I come in for, that I won't remember. I have no idea what I'm working on at the time. Sometimes they have one line. I invest just as much into that as it would something like Wolverine or Starscream or Spike. Of course, those are the ones that stand out in my head because they're the big iconic characters now. And as a fan also, it's nothing but awesome to play them. So I can't pick one because the others would fight in my head and it would just ultimately explode right here. So that wouldn't be good for anybody. I see a hand back there behind a helmet or something. Sailor Moon, no. No, I've been so fortunate. I mean, this is a really boring answer, but I've been so fortunate in my career to be able to work on characters that I never thought I'd get the opportunity to voice, that I never lust after other characters. I just never have. I always thought it would be cool to play somebody like Wolverine or Starscream, and I get to play them. It's really cool. The one that I would say that I really would have loved to play, because I think my vocal range is right for it, would be Batman. But then I heard Kevin Conroy's version of it, and I went, I can't do it like that. I mean, he's so good. And that's that's my experience. Every voice that I think that I would be right for, I hear the guy who's doing it, and I know the reason why they chose him. But that would also apply to like the Joker with Mark Hamill, his version of it, or even Kevin Michael Richardson's version of the Joker. I love that character. And I know those guys, and I've worked in the room with those guys, and to see their version of it, it's like, damn. Okay, moving on. I'll lust after something else. So that's kind of how it works for me, and I'm just so grateful for the ones that I do get. I'm surprised at the ones that I get, so that's where I get. Okay. So I guess we won't have that surprise, but that's okay. That's all right. Well, you'll see it. What it was, and you guys can find it online. It's just a little video that I cut together. Some fans asked me to cut together some video of some of my roles, and so I. We'll just keep going and see what happens. If something happens, it happens. If not, cool. But basically, you can just look up my name with video reel, and eventually you'll find it in the rolls of things on YouTube. So, how about you, Ray? Wonderful to play. I love going up the higher registers. I don't get to do that very often. Like I said, I was a fan from many, many years ago. My very first job was sorting comic books in my grandfather's bookstore when I was 13. And I used to love those comics. I used to love the Spider-Man comics and stuff. And so Goblin was always one of my favorite characters. And they let me really play with him. At first they were a little tentative because when I went to the Screechy Range, it sounded sort of like Joker and some of the other things that Kevin has done, Kevin Michael Richardson. So they kind of steered me away from that, but occasionally they would let me do that full-on cackle and the smart-ass attitude. It was really, really fun to do that. And departing from my normal vocal wheelhouse on characters, or somebody like Leron is actually kind of liberating, hon, because I worked so many with the heavy-duty characters, you know, and I'm always fighting and killing. Leron is just kinder and gentler and likes to fix things. So I think we all have those little different branches of colors in our bodies. And so for me to get to branch out into that and explore that part of myself was very liberating. It's all fun. It's cool. I'm an actor, so the farther away from me I get to go, the more fun it is. And I get to connect with people on different levels, all sorts of different levels, doing those characters. So very, very fun. Okay, right here with tattoos. I love doing anything that requires voice acting, honestly. I started in anime, that's my home, and that's where I'm actually most comfortable because I'm in a room by myself. I don't have to be funny or smart or impress anybody in the room. I don't have to dress up. I'm basically in a room with rubber on the walls. And one of the few skills that I do have is being able to match the lip flaps, and I can do it pretty efficiently. And I love the genre of anime. It's just so beautiful to look at. I love the stories, I love the ideas, I love the sensibilities of the Japanese way of thinking. So that's where I started, so that will always be my first love. But video games are fun too, because I've realized how much enjoyment people get from them and how much of people's lives they waste on them, frankly. But it's become so cinematic in video games, and the acting in video games is becoming more cinematic for me. So I do enjoy that too. It's just, video games is probably the hardest thing I work on, only because of the quantity of lines I have to do in a session. Anime, I'll do maybe 100 lines in a 4-hour session, maybe a couple hundred lines. In video games, I'll do 600 to 900 lines in a 4-hour session, and sometimes 3 versions of each, and a lot of that's screaming. So it's just painful. I mean, it's just really painful, mostly. So for that reason, I like anime better, I would say. How about you right here?